Hey guys, welcome to the 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. Today, smoking my diamond panel pipe. Don't know where I got this pipe. I can't remember if somebody gave this to me or if I got this. I don't know where I picked this one up. Usually I remember if somebody gave me a pipe. I don't remember where I got this one from. I just can't remember where this came from. If somebody sent this to me, I apologize. I think it might have been Market TPI, but I'm not sure. I don't think it was, because this one's got a lot of dings and stuff in it. And usually when Mark sends me one, he's completely restored it to perfection. And so I don't think this is one of Mark's. But I really don't remember where I got this pipe from. It may have been one I picked up at a thrift store or something. But I really don't remember. It's a diamond. Cool pipe, smokes great. This is one I've had out in a box out in the garage for the longest time. And I took a bunch of the pipes that were out in the garage, put them in a rack here, and brought them out to the barn to use as my barn pipes. These are pipes that I don't smoke regularly. They were just in a box of pipes that I had. Other than the Savinelli 1004, that was one that I did smoke quite a bit. And I had that in the house, and I was trying to find a stem for it. I was looking online to see if I could find a stem for it, the right stem. But this one smokes great. I don't know why I don't smoke this one all the time. I'm gonna have to look this up, see what I can find out about it. Cool pipe though. And in it, I'm smoking Jefferson Street. It's a beautiful day today. It's really warm. It's actually too warm to be wearing a long sleeve shirt. 64 degrees. I got up real early this morning and came out the front door, and all the deer were just laying out in the front yard. I just love seeing that, man. I just love seeing the deer just laying out in our front yard. Squirrels were running around in between them. It was just the coolest thing to see. I just love seeing that. Every morning they're out here. There's usually about 10 to 15 deer in our front yard in the mornings, just laying down. You just see their heads pop up when you come out the door. I'll either be in the front yard or right out here on the side of the barn, laying out around the trees over here. I had a big old, just before I turned the camera on, big old branch, one of our trees cracked and just fell down. and some of it is still hanging up in the tree, so I'll have to get out there and pull that down so it doesn't fall on anybody. Boy, it made a heck of a noise, just a crack, and then came down. We've had some 20, 30 mile an hour sustained winds and gusts up to 55 miles an hour over the past week. We've had some hefty winds. And had a few limbs come down. So I got some chainsaw work to do this week. I'm glad I wasn't out mowing the lawn when that thing came down. We have some huge trees out here. 50 to 70-year-old trees. The guy who built this house, it was built in the 50s. So it's 70 years old, 75 years old, almost. He was an electrician, and he worked on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And there used to be little boxes on the Blue Ridge Parkway at certain points of interest, and you could press the button and it would tell you what you were seeing at this point of interest. And he built all those. He put those all in. I don't think they're there anymore. But while he was doing that, while he was working on those, he would bring home saplings from the Blue Ridge Mountains, and he would plant them in the front yard here. So all these trees we have in the front yard here came from the Blue Ridge Parkway, except the big pine tree right in the front yard here. See if I can get you. I don't know if this will take you over there. No, I gotta go this way, I guess. That big pine tree right there in the front yard was planted by he and his daughter when she was a little girl. That thing's got to be 75 feet tall now. It was a Christmas tree, a living Christmas tree that they had. And they planted that when she was a little girl. And that thing is huge. And it's about probably 3 feet, 2.5 feet thick at the bottom. It's a massive tree. And it goes up, I think it actually splits in two at the top. Kind of splits into two. There's like two trunks going up at the top. It's a huge tree, and but there's a lot of trees planted out there in the yard, and a few of them are dying or have died. Botanist said to leave them alone, let them be. It's good for the ecology. The wildlife will use them. They're far enough away from the house that they're not going to cause any problems for the house. should they fall. He said if it gets to the point where they're, you know, really rotting, then we need to bring them down. But he said they're solid right now. They're no problems with them. And he said just leave them be. We did have one come down last year in a windstorm, and I got to get out and cut the limbs off of it, but it's being used right now by a pair of foxes, so I don't want to bother with it right now. Well, they're using it, and I will get out there in the summer once their kits are raised and they're gone. And I'll cut all the limbs off of it, all the tree limbs, but I may just leave the tree trunk there, trim it up. The deer just love that. They just love laying around that thing. I think it gives them a sense of protection. We'll see once the limbs are all gone if they still hang around it or not. But yeah, got to get out there and cut that all up. Got to be able to mow around it and, you know, get in there and weed whack around it and stuff. So otherwise, it'll just grow weeds around it and stuff, and it'll just be an eyesore. But the boy, that crack that branch made was loud when it just came down. So I got a lot of cleaning up to do in the yard after these winds. Every time we have winds, I got to go down there and clean up branches. Just part of the job. That's what this thing here, it comes in so handy. I just hook that up to the tractor and go down and cut up stuff and throw them in that, and then I can take it down to the street and dump it. This you know, dumps, and I can just dump it down by the street, and they come and pick it all up. They have a company that comes and picks up all the yard waste. As long as we cut it up to shorter than 6 feet, they will come and pick it up, and then they mulch it. They turn it into mulch, so they get free mulch, and then they sell it, you know, to the public, and so it works out good. I get rid of this stuff for free. They make money off of it. Everybody wins. Using a little tamper I made from a pepper tree that we had growing in San Diego. I cut a bunch of, before I left, I cut a bunch of branches off of that tree, cut them into little pieces like this, and you know, little short pieces like that. And I got a box of them, box about that big, little pieces like that. Then I could make little tampers out of. And then my dad and I had planted a little Christmas tree in the front yard of the house. When I was a kid. And I wasn't really a kid. I was in my 20s. But we had planted that tree out in front. It was a live Christmas tree. And we planted that tree out in front. And it was probably about 50 feet tall when we moved. I cut a couple clippings off of that, and I made two tampers, one for me and one for Boca de Boynton. Boca de Boynton asked me to make him a tamper out of it, and I still have it, Boca. I just haven't sent it to you. In fact, it's right here. I got it right next to me here, and I'm so glad I did that. That tree is now gone. They took it out when we moved. I wish I'd cut some more off of that to make more tampers, but I've got one, and Boca de Boynton will have the other. I mean, those are the only two that'll ever be made, because that tree is now gone. So, but now I got all these trees that I can make tampers out of. Got some maples and got a couple of black walnuts, but I don't want to make any out of the black walnut because black walnut I'm not so sure about. It can be toxic, so I don't know that smoking a pipe would get hot enough for the black walnut to be toxic, but I'm not taking a chance on it. But we got some neat trees out here. But anywho, I've told the story many times that I like to get little pieces of branch about that size everywhere that I go, every place that I visit, and make a tamper out of it. You know, from each state, each place I go, any place I go different from where I live. And if I visit somewhere, I like to get a tamper from that place. I have them from Alaska and North Carolina and Virginia and San Diego. Just all the different places I've visited in my life. I've got a little piece of wood, cut it into a little pick on one end and a flat end on the other, and just made a tamper out of it. And usually I will write on there, make a little flat spot on it, and I'll write where I got it from. And it's just a neat little, they're just a piece of wood, but it just reminds me of my travels, where I've been. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. And you can always have a tamper. Wherever you go, you can make your own little tamper. Just need to look for a stick laying on the ground. And even my kids look for them for me when we go out. We'll go someplace and they'll say, "Hey, Dad, I found a stick for you for a tamper." It's just kind of a neat thing that the family's even gotten into for me. That they know the size of stick I'm looking for. They know to check to see that it doesn't break too easy, that it's not rotted, and they'll, we go someplace and they'll look for a stick for me for a tamper. It's just kind of a cool thing, and but every state that I've traveled to, I've tried to get a tamper from. I missed a lot of the states that I've been to. I didn't do it, and I wasn't thinking at the time when I was traveling all over the place. But I should make a list of all the states that I have tampers from. I need to go to West Virginia. I don't have one from West Virginia, and that's close to here, so I know I need to get one from there. I need to get a little stick from West Virginia, make a tamper with that. And I got to get to Pennsylvania and do one from there. That's not too far. Eventually I'll get to Maryland. Anyway, catch y'all later. Have a good one, guys.